Dr. Randy Kamen. Welcome to Strategies to Spark Your Week. Today, I am going to be talking about a strategy for learning how to forgive. Rachel's anger and hurt came from a lifelong history of her father's emotional abuse. He never missed an opportunity to put her down or to point out her flaws. Now, in her mid-30s, Rachel's professional life was beginning to flourish, yet she was unable to maintain a healthy relationship with a man. She came to see me after yet another painful breakup. Rachel needed to tell her story, express her feelings, and somehow figure out a way to let go of the hurt and anger she had harbored for so many years. She needed to learn how to forgive her father, even though this seemed counterintuitive. Forgiveness transforms anger and hurt into healing and peace. It helps us to overcome disappointment, depression, and rage. It quiets anxiety and eases inner and relational turmoil. Forgiveness is about making the decision to let go of a grudge or even a terrible violation. You might ask, why would anyone want to forgive someone who has wronged them in the past? It's not about letting them off the hook for a wrongdoing or abuse, or forgetting about the past. It certainly does not mean sticking around for future maltreatment from a boss, a partner, a parent, or a friend. Forgiveness is about setting yourself free so that you can move on in your own life. You can take action against someone in court and still find a way to forgive them. Forgiveness involves soul searching, looking deeply into the story that we have repeated to ourselves and possibly to others. True forgiveness means giving up the suffering of the past and being willing to forgive and forge ahead with the potential for inner freedom. Anne Lamott famously said, "Forgiveness is giving up all hope of having had a different past." Besides the reward of letting go of a painful past, there are significant health benefits to be derived from the practice of forgiveness. Forgiveness is associated with lower heart rate, blood pressure, decreased pain, physical symptoms, fatigue, and better sleep quality. It is also related to decreased stress and inner turmoil, while at the same time, forgiveness helps to boost self-esteem, it amplifies positive thoughts and feelings, and deepens our potential for healthy connections and relationships with others. Besides developing positive emotions, we become less encumbered by the scars of our past. The problem for many of us is that we can choose to forgive someone, but in our heart of hearts, the anger, the resentment lingers. Although at times this may seem impossible, forgiveness is a learnable skill that can dramatically improve with practice over time. The question remains, how do we forgive someone who has hurt or betrayed us? Fred Luskin talks about how to develop our grievance story in his book, Forgive for Good. A grievance story is the story that we repeat to ourselves and to others about the way we were maltreated and victimized. Luskin talks about learning to reframe our story in such a way that we become a survivor, or better yet, the hero of our story. For example, Rachel chose to leave home at a young age. When she left, she did not break off all communication with her father, but she kept her contact very limited and within safe boundaries. With some re-engineering, she managed to reframe her script so that she had been telling herself all of these years. The following strategy for learning forgiveness is derived from an amalgam of work from several researchers as well as my own work. To begin, get into a comfortable sitting position in good alignment and take a few deep breaths to ground yourself and feel calm, because that's when you're most receptive to learning new skills and taking in information. Now, inquire deeply about the root of your hurt or anger. Look at the situation honestly. Don't embellish or rearrange the details. Consider, how has this anger held you back in the past? How has it held you hostage? Review your reframed story, and this time see yourself as empowered, as the hero. Perhaps you chose to disengage or limit your time with someone who had hurt you. Maybe you chose to leave a toxic partner. In that scenario, you had the fortitude to leave a difficult or destructive situation. You were the survivor of or hero of your own story. Consider your inner strength that you developed as a result of this situation, allowing your hurt or compromised past to become a springboard for creating a new, liberated, and more fulfilling path. Also, build your capacity for self-compassion, unconditional love, acceptance. Offer yourself the love and compassion you would to a child or a loved one going through a difficult situation. Blaming yourself for sticking around too long or not seeing the signs is counterproductive and slows down the healing process. Keep in mind, abusers have often been abused themselves. They operate with a deficit. This in no way makes them less accountable. It just is a way to understand the pain that they might have endured. You can understand and forgive without accepting bad or abusive behavior. Sometimes we also need to forgive ourselves for having hurt ourselves or others in the past. Whether we forgive another or ourselves, we need to create new associations with the old story of neglect or abuse. Consider practicing a ritual like lighting candles or having a ceremony that signifies the end of things as they once were, and say goodbye to that past. Welcome the good, the support, the love that you now invite into your life. Perhaps you can gather some friends to celebrate the end of that era and the beginning of a new phase of life. Continue to practice visualizing yourself becoming the hero of your story and building self-compassion. Notice your strengths and the shift that takes place as you reframe your story and deepen it into your conscious and unconscious mind. With practice, feelings of anger and hurt will subside and your self-esteem will blossom, as will your relationships. Rachel gained a better awareness of her father's limitations. Over time, she managed to let go of her deep-seated feelings of anger and regret for the childhood she never will have had. The reward for her efforts was a happier life and the ability to find a loving and supportive partner. I hope this talk sparks you into a place of greater emotional freedom. Please let me know if you have any comments or questions. I can be reached at my website, drrandykamen.com. I look forward to seeing you for next week's episode of Strategies to Spark Your Week.